afternoon. We're going to go ahead and get started. It is 1:32 p.m. on April 24th, 2025, and welcome to the Seminole County Code Enforcement Board meeting for the month of April. Can we start by having Madam Clerk do roll call, please?
Dennis Warren.
Here.
Catherine Townsend.
Hart.
Catherine.
Here.
Mike Synan.
Here.
Dudley Bates.
Here.
Craig Davis.
Here.
For the record, Don Peterson is not present. Yvette.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and give some information to everyone here, and then we'll get started right after I explain this. Good afternoon again. Welcome again to the April 24th, 2025 hearing of the Seminole County Code Enforcement Board. Before we begin, I'd like to advise everyone about the procedures that govern appearances before the Code Enforcement Board. This meeting is open to the public under Florida Government and Sunshine Law. Therefore, every effort will be made to hear all persons having relevant evidence or arguments to offer. It is required, it's required that every person who appears before the Code Enforcement Board be registered with the clerk. The cases where the respondents are present and signed in will be heard first. You will be sworn in or affirmed by the clerk. Once all cases where the respondents are present have been heard, the Code Enforcement Board will hear the remaining cases as they appear on the agenda. When your case is called, please be seated at the table reserved for the respondents. The county will present their case, and then the respondents will be allowed to present their case. Additionally, please limit your comments to only relating to this particular case. Each party may question witnesses offered on behalf of the other party. Additionally, staff members may question those appearing before the Code Enforcement Board. The board will make their decision based on the evidence and testimony presented by both parties. All proceedings before the Code Enforcement Board are electronically recorded. Please speak directly into the microphone at the center of the table and state your name clearly before presenting your case. Should you need assistance due to a hearing impairment or language barrier, please inform the clerk upon registration. All cell phones or other electronic devices are to be turned off or silenced while inside the chambers. Thank you for your cooperation. We will go ahead now, and I ask you to stand for a Pledge of Allegiance to be followed by the swearing in of witnesses. So please stand. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please remain standing if you're going to be testifying today in any manner, or raise your right hand so the clerk can swear you in here.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Thank you. I'm going to recommend that we revise the agenda as I had mentioned so that we can cover the folks that are here first. And let me give you the order that I'm suggesting, see if we get a motion for that. We would begin with, on page 1, case number 25-28 CEB Jerry W. Cordette, 200 Crooked Oak Court, Longwood, Florida 32779, followed by the companion case, the same respondent, the same address. That case is 25-29 CEB. And then when we get those two done, it'd be followed on page 4, case number 25-33 CEB, Winter Williams, Dollar Way, Sanford, Florida 32771. After that, we would hear case number 25-34 CEB, Linda J. Smith, 173 Jewel Drive, Altamont Springs, 32714. Then to be heard by 3 cases beginning on page 5 and then page 6 that are related to the same respondents. First case would be 25-35 CEB, Mabel Hill, Harry Hill, Bernice McKinney, heir, and Cheryl M. Hardy, 2054 Sipes Avenue, Sanford, Florida, 32771. It has 2 companion cases with it, same respondents, same address. One of them is 25-36 CEB, the other one is 25-37 CEB. Do I have a motion to revise the agenda to hear those cases first, then to be followed by the remaining cases?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bates, second by Ms. Townsend. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to back up to that first case that I read. There's actually 2 cases for this respondent, and Officer Adair, you can present them together. If starting with case number 25-28 CEB, Jerry W. Cordette. If you're here for that case, please step up. 200 Crooked Oak Court, Longwood, Florida, 32779.
Okay.
And we will then hear 25-29 CEB, same respondent, same address. Sir, as I said, he's going to present both cases. Apparently,
Okay.
there's 2 possible violations. Then we'll give you the opportunity to
All right,
address
that's fine.
both of those. And Mr. Adair, whenever you're ready, you can go.
Code Enforcement Officer Cameron Adair, Seminole County Sheriff's Office, South Region. This is case number 2528 CEB. Respondent is Jerry W. Cordette. Would like to submit a copy of this PowerPoint presentation to the clerk as Exhibit A. The property is located at 200 Crooked Oak Court in Seminole County, Florida. The violation charge, Seminole County Land Development Code, Chapter 30, Part 14, Section 30.14.19, L. Fences. All fences shall be maintained in their upright original condition. The initial inspection took place on January 7th, 2025. Notices to respondents were January 15th and January 30th, 2025, with compliance dates set for January 29th and February 14th, 2025. Follow-up inspections were January 29th through yesterday, April 23rd, 2025. The results are the violation of dilapidated fence remains on subject property. This is an image from my initial inspection on January 7th. The fence is leaning over. Follow-up inspection on January 29th. You can see the left photo has holes in the fence, and then on the right, it seems he tried to prop it back up, but it is still not upright fully. Follow-up inspection on February 17th, same thing. It was attempted to be corrected, but not fully. This is the date I received the green card, March 28th, 2025. And this is yesterday's follow-up inspection. You can still see you can still see holes in the fence and another panel that's not fully upright. The suggested recommendation by me is based on testimony and evidence presented in case number 2528 CEB. It is determined that the respondent, Jerry W. Cordette, is the owner of record of property located at 200 Crooked Oak Court, located in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's records, is in possession or control of the property, and is in violation of Seminole County Land Development Code, Chapter 30, Part 14, Section 30.14.19, L, fences. It is further recommended that the Code Enforcement Board issue an order for the respondent to correct the violation on or before midnight of May 9th, 2025. In order to correct the violation, the respondent must remove or repair the dilapidated fence to its original upright condition. If the respondent does not comply with the order, a fine of $100 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions, Officer Adair, on this particular case? Seeing none, Officer Adair, if you want to move to the second case.
Code Enforcement Officer Cameron Adair, Seminole County Sheriff's Office, South Region. This is case number 25-29-CEB. The respondent is Jerry W. Cordett. Would like to submit a copy of this PowerPoint presentation to the clerk as Exhibit A. The violation is located at 200 Crooked Oak Court, Seminole County, Florida. Violation charge, Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3G, unsecured swimming pool. Initial inspection was on January 7th, 2025. Notices to respondent were on January 15th and January 30th, 2025. And compliance dates were set for January 29th and February 14th, 2025. Follow-up inspections were January 29th through yesterday, April 23rd, 2025. The results are the unsecured pool remains on subject property. So these are images from my initial inspection showing that the pool is in the backyard and the gate leading to it is just left wide open and not up to code in the first place. It's not self-closing, self-latching. Follow-up inspection on January 29th depicts the same thing, pool in the backyard, the gate remains open. Follow-up inspection February 17th, same images, the gate remain. I believe the gate's closed in that photo, but it's not self-closing or latching. This is a date I received the green card. And this is yesterday's follow-up inspection. The gate, it remains wide open and the pool is in the backyard. The suggested recommendation is, based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2529 CEB, it is determined that the respondent, Jerry W. Cordett, is the owner of record of property located at 200 Crooked Oak Court, located in Seminole County as determined by the property appraiser's records. Is in possession or control of the property and is in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3G, unsecured swimming pool. It is further recommended that the Code Enforcement Board issue an order for the respondent to correct the violation on or before midnight of May 9th, 2025. In order to correct the violation, the respondent must secure the pool by surrounding it with a fence or barrier at least 48 inches in height above the finished ground level, ensure the gates and doors and such barriers are self-closing and self-latching, and ensure the release mechanism is located on the pool side of the gate. If the respondent does not comply with the order, a fine of $250 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions, Officer Derrick? Mr. Messina.
Because this property has a pool in the back, that means the fence is required, correct? He can't just take
Correct.
down the fence? And can you describe, because the pictures did not seem like they were all that wonderful, is there a gate at all between the two large brick column posts? And what deficiencies, if so, does it have?
There is a gate. It's like in a metal aluminum, however you call it, and it swings open and just stays open. So it doesn't have the self-closing, self-latching that we require. I'm unsure of if the latch is on the pool-facing side to open the gate, but it does meet the height requirement of 48 inches.
How do you go about determining what type of latch mechanism that it has? Why wasn't that done?
I've only stepped onto the property once. All my pictures have been from a neighboring property or public right of road or right of way.
Thank you.
Officer, did I read that correctly, that this has been going on for 3 months? They've been aware that this is unsecured and unsafe?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, sir, if you could...
Yeah, sure, I'll be glad to speak.
Let me get your name first.
My name is Jerry Cordett.
Thank you, and you're the property owner.
Okay, yes, I am.
Okay, this is your opportunity. We've got two issues here. We've got the fence issue.
Understand.
And the
Okay.
unsecured pool, so
Okay.
that's what we're looking at today.
First of all, this is reported by a harassing neighbor that's been harassing me the whole time. I think this is very unreasonable. That fence, it's going to be taken down. I had to get permission from the HOA to take it down. I have my slip here. I can't just take it down without the pool being enclosed. They're going through it right now. They said, I cannot take that gate down until we enclose that pool. I got contractors to put the gate up as far as the pool. Now, I did not receive anything from Mr. Derrick until I got the certified copies. That's why I responded. I called him out to my property, hey, what's going on here? What are you talking about? Had no photos, no complaints. Okay, I had a harassing neighbor. Okay, now, here's where I stand with this. I'm taking the fence down. I don't have to have a fence there. So, like I told my neighbor, we have a zoo back there. We got bears and deer, and we have our own private zoo. That's fine with me. I'm taking it down. I cannot take it down until I put the metal fence around the pool. I need time to do that. All right, secondly, on the gate issue, I have a member of my family that has Parkinson's. They have to go through that gate. They can't go through that gate. They can barely walk. That's why it's open. I was asked not to close it. I explained that to Mr. Adair. I said, the reason why it's open, I have someone in my household that has Parkinson's. He's tripped twice. Okay? So that's why it's open. Otherwise, it would be closed. I explained to him, we'll get the pool and closed when we do that. Now, if you look at the notice here, I signed it on, where was it? When I signed a certified copy, I called him immediately after my house. What's going on? I hadn't seen anything from him at all, period. Okay, that's what proof you sent me notice. I don't have a picture at all of anything. Now, that stuff he's showing here has been corrected temporarily until we get permission from the HOA to put that gate around the pool. Then all that fence is coming up. I'm not going to spend any more money on that fence. It's been a problem since I got in there. Since he's been complaining. I've replaced it several times. Bears come through there, deer. It's a zoo back there. I can't keep up with it. I work every day. You know, I've got time to be, I can't even see the fence. You can't even see the fence from the street. I didn't know there was anything wrong with the fence. He showed it to me. I said, let's try to correct it. I've got a picture there on my cell phone. You patch it up temporarily until the HOA board gives me permission to put my fence around the pool. And I'm tired of being harassed. I really am. So those issues there, the fence is really not, it's old. I mean, half the fences in that neighborhood are old and falling down. Okay, so I elected to take it down. I'm tired of it. I'm not going to put any more money in that fence. It's expensive. I'd rather put the enclosure around the gate, and that solves the problem. The gate that's open is going to stay open, because that gentleman he's Parkinson's. He can barely walk. So we enclose the pool, we're fine. That's it. It's going to stay open. Because his safety is my concern right now. I mean, he's fallen twice out there. Because he can't push that gate. He asked me, please don't close that gate. It's the only reason why it's open. Because he has Parkinson's, he can barely walk. And he's fallen twice. Okay, so that's why I stand with it. And that's what it is. Now, as far as that fence, and I told Mr. Adair yesterday, the fence has been semi-repaired. I have pictures of it. Go onto my property and take a look. You can't see it from that side of the fence. You got to go onto my property and take a look. He didn't do that. I called him out, was it yesterday? And I called him on his cell phone. Hey, are you there? Yes. Go on the property. You've got my permission to go on it and take a look at what we did on the fence. And he didn't do it. I can't go out. Well, you sure can. I give you permission. For some reason, he didn't want to do that. But it's corrected until we get the pool fence. The pool is surrounded by the fence. So that's where I stand with this.
Thank you. You saw the date, the recommended date, May 4th, which
Yeah.
is the recommendation to have both these things fixed. What's your position? I'm not-
Well, that's unreasonable. That time frame is sure. I have to get contracted. If we got to find somebody to do it, the HOA has to approve it. They take so much time to get it approved. I was told, do not touch anything until we approve that fence. I said, that's fine. That's what I'm waiting on now. As soon as they approve it, I can put the fence in there. Okay, so it's not something that I'm personally neglecting and not complying. I'm trying to comply with it. But it's got to be a reasonable amount of time. So I have the paper where I filed with them on April the 1st. Okay, as far as me filing, I said, well, that's fine. We have to go, the board has meetings. They got to go through the whole board situation to approve that fence. I can't just put a fence out there. Okay, and once the fence is around the pool, I will move that. I'm taking the whole gate, all the gates. So I have any more problem with this nonsense, because it's harassing. That's what it is. And he couldn't see it I couldn't see it from the street. The neighbor next door has been complaining for no reason. I says, well, first of all, why is it my gate? It serves both of our purposes. It divides both yards up. How is it my gate? And I asked her, I said, look, can you participate? Why don't we just put a gate up together and you go half, I go half? I don't want to do that. It's unreasonable. So since it's my gate, I'm taking it down.
Yes, sir. Mr. Bates.
Sir, has your pool been basically open for 3 months?
Yes. That's when I bought the house was like that.
Why?
Yeah. Why?
Why?
Because the pool's open. That's where I bought the house. It's open. Okay, there's no screen. It comes with a
But your
screen.
pool is
It's
open
open, right. It was built like that, correct.
for 3 months, and you've
yeah.
done nothing about it except now apply
Well, no,
to the
I think
homeowners
we-
association.
No.
That's not true.
Problem is, you know, complaining. I said, well, the pool's, it's been like that since the house was built in 74. You gonna tell me now all of a sudden it's a problem? No. So what I told him, I said, I'm gonna enclose the pool as soon as I get permission to do so, to do that. And no one's ever brought to my attention about a pool being enclosed up until now. So I bought that house in 2000 and, I'm sorry, was it 18? I've never had a problem with anybody. And code enforcement has been out there before. No one said anything about an open pool. Not for that reason, but the back gate of bear knocked down, which I repaired. You can't even see it.
Sir, I'm very hard pressed to understand a plausible reason why your pool has been open and exposed to possibly somebody coming in.
Well, I just explained it to you.
And
as far as
falling in
Okay.
that pool to a very bad end. And
Well, if someone comes to
I'm
my property.
missing the plausible reason why that should be.
Well, here's the thing. I just told you I bought the house is like, it's been like that for 50 years, obviously. Okay, so I've never had a problem before with any of this nonsense. I mean, the neighbors been complaining. They haven't, I mean, the pool's never been an issue at all. If you pull the record, it's never been a problem up until now. So here's the thing about everything. I'm trying to explain myself. Let me talk, and I'll explain it to you. It's that way, it was brought that way. I was never brought to my attention that I had to have enclosure, which I don't have a fence around it. If someone's on my property without my permission, they're trespassing. They shouldn't be in their first place. But like I said, that pool, and I talked to HOA, says, well, okay, we'll give the board, we'll talk about that and give you, you know, permission to put a gate around it. This is the first I've heard about this. So that's why it's like this. I gotta have opportunity to fix it. It didn't happen overnight. I think I gotta pull a permit or something I gotta do. I talked to HOA and said, okay, we'll give the board, we'll hear this and we'll give you whatever you need as far as putting that fence back up. I'll put the fence around the pool.
Mr. Simon?
If you want to continue, I'll wait.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Mr. Adair, you have the certified letter receipt that you showed in the display. Can you tell me what the date on that is, please, sir? So that's April 1?
Correct.
Okay, so we know
It
for a
was
fact that he's
Signed on
known.
March 2nd,
And
or 27th. It was
And this is-
27th.
HOA letter.
It was signed on March 27th by Mr. Cordet.
Okay.
So we know, he's known about this problem for just short of 30 days, correct?
Correct.
And when he contacted you, can you describe for us what happened there? Because he's saying he wanted you to go on the property even as soon as yesterday.
So when he initially got the certified mail, he contacted me. I got back with him within 3 days, I believe, and we set up a meeting to come inspect the property. I showed him along the fence line, him and his neighbor share, what specifically I was looking at, the holes in the images, the dilapidated fence, etc. And I also told him that the gate needs to be self-closing, self-latching. Then he asked me if he encloses the pool, if that would suffice, like with baby gate or the proper secured terminology, pool, fence, whatever it is, and tore down the fence if that was an option. I said, as long as the pool is secured, you can take down the entire fence, just as long as the pool is properly secured. He said, okay, no problem. And that is the last I heard of him until Monday, when he left me a voicemail and I re-inspected yesterday.
So did he give you permission to go on the property?
Yes.
And you did not?
Yes. I did not feel it was fruitful for me to step onto his property when I could observe the violations from the complainant or neighbor property.
Okay. Question for you, sir. Have you shown these plans for a fence to anyone, and, you know, have you?
This is the HOA the day they came out. I went down to the HOA, you can take this, whoever can come get it. On that same day, I went down there to get permission to move that fence, to do my work. Oh, you can keep that, that's fine, I don't need that. Okay. That same day, I went to HOA, and I said, look, I gotta take care of this fence, I gotta put up closure. They said, fine. I said, what do I need to do? I fill that out. Some simple remove old fence, put the new whatever around it. So, well, you can't do anything until we hear it and the board approves. I said, that's fine. I'll wait on that right now.
And do we know when this board meeting is?
They meet every 30 or 40 days. They have certain meetings where they approve certain things. So it's going to be, that's April 1st, it's what? We're in April 20, yes, about 30 or so days, I think it is, that I'll get an approval to fix to be able to take the fence down and to put the pool enclosure up. So I can't move until, I can't do anything now until they tell me to.
See this?
Okay, so you don't have the board meeting date or any
Well,
evidence that says
They
that
meet
this
like-
will be on
right,
the
right,
agenda?
right.
of that
That would be
meeting?
the first thing they'll talk, because I talked to them, so yeah, it'll be within that period of time. So they'll send me a letter saying whatever, so, yeah.
I don't have any more questions.
Ms. Townsend, I have a
Well, I was going to say, I've never heard of an HOA not agreeing to an emergency meeting for something that has been
Well,
has
that's,
been documented as a
Okay.
code violation for county code. As far as I'm concerned, I'm ready to make a motion.
I have a couple of questions.
yeah, sure,
Hold on, sir.
okay.
Partways through your testimony, you made a comment, I'm gonna fix it, this just isn't reasonable. This board is here today to decide what to do, and I would strongly suggest you come up with some sort of date that you think might be reasonable.
Okay.
We're not, but
Right, I
that might
understand.
be in your best interest. So what do you think's reasonable to get this done?
As soon as they approve me
A date,
to put the
calendar
fence
date.
up, let's say 30 days. I'm not sure exactly when they're going to meet. I talked to them and says, look, we have meetings, periodically. If you look at the date and look at the date that I signed it, that's the day I went over there and talked to him about it. I said, hey, I'm this code enforcement thing, what I need to do this as well. I want to put a pool like I told Mr. Adair. I'll take the gate down. I don't want to violate another code. And I told him I got to put some kind of a closure around the pool. He said, that's fine, but you can't do that. The board has to hear. They have some, whatever board they have to go through. I said, that's fine. Let me know when I can take this gate apart and move it and put the gate. Now, you may have never heard of HOA doing that, but they do that. This one does. They're very strict out there. So we got to have everything has to be approved. And it wasn't an emergency meeting. They just said, hey, we're going to hear it. And I told them, whatever their next meeting is going to be, they're going to hear that. And then they will give me permission to move the fence and to put a pool gate up.
So, are you requesting 30 days that you feel is reasonable?
I think so, yeah. But I think they're going to hear that probably within this month. They'll let me know, then I have 30 days. I can get that fixed. Because I've already called pool fence guys who put, whatever around it. So I'm just waiting, they're waiting for them to give me okay to put the fence up.
Mr. Officer Adair, I never came back to you. He shotgunned a lot of stuff at us. Do you have anything you'd like to add? I think we sort of heard, but if you're welcome, because he was talking different things. Or are you good with where you're at?
I'm good with where I stand.
Okay. Okay, I don't have any more questions. If anybody else does, or if there's a motion.
Well, my concern is mostly, I think, the gate. Are we going to leave this gate open for 30 more days?
Certainly don't.
I mean, I can close the gate.
Sir,
Okay,
the board's
sorry,
calling.
go ahead, sorry.
I mean, according to the testimony, we're going to leave this gate open in perpetuity.
Right. He's going to take it down, is what I understood.
Right, I'm gonna take it down, as soon as I get permission to put the other gate up. But the reason why, as I explained before, why the gate is open, the only reason why, because a member of that household, my household has Parkinson's, and they fall in twice, he says, please don't close that gate, I can't get through it. I said, okay, that's fine. And I explained that to Mr. Adair when he came out. Didn't I tell you that, I explained that to you?
Correct.
Yeah, so I said, that's the only reason why it's open. As soon as I'm able to put that pool gate around the pool, they give me clearance, I will do so. Okay, that's the only reason why the gate is open.
Let me just say, because you keep, and
Sure.
I feel for the situation you
sure.
have in with the Parkinson's, I get it. I've got a sister-in-law with the same
Right,
thing with
yeah.
pulling. However, there's other people at risk with that gate being open that can fall in just as quick as the individual with Parkinson's. So that doesn't strike a chord with me. So I dealt with a personal situation myself, and you can call him a trespasser, you can call what you want, but the next door neighbor fell in and drowned in the pool, and this trespasser was 4 years old. So
Okay.
you keep saying that.
Right, I understand, yeah, I understand.
Thank you. Board, whatever.
I'm going to make the motion that we go with the officer's recommendation with the caveat that we make it May 1st. I think that since he signed his green card on March 27th, he's had plenty of time to make the arrangements for this. And I personally know that HOAs will give you an emergency meeting to accommodate something of this nature, and I don't think a month is reasonable. So I would make that motion for it to be effective May the 1st.
I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Townsend, second by Mr. Bates to accept staff's recommendation. Let me back up. We're talking about the first case, which is the,
I thought we were voting on everything together.
I think they have to do it separate, don't we? Or-
That's fine.
Want
I
it
mean,
separate?
Well, you can make your motion for each of them and just.
Okay,
Yeah.
then that's for the 25-28, the fence.
Okay, 25-28 CB, and the motion is to find is a violation fence to that issue to be corrected by May 1st, or the $100 a day fine is a recommendation on that one. Correct? Motion by Ms. Townsend, second by Mr. Bates. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
No?
And no, but Mr. Simon, the second, did you have a motion, or is it the same
I
motion?
have the same motion for 25-29.
Is there a second on that?
Yes, second.
Motion by Ms. Townsend, second by Mr. Bates on case number 25-29 CEB. This is the unsecured swimming pool. Motion is find there is a violation, needs to be corrected by May 1st, or fines of $250 a day will begin. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No?
And no by Mr. Simon. Motion carries 3-1. Sir, that's what we've done. You've got till May 1st on
Okay.
both of those, and,
May I say something?
That's 4-1.
Okay.
Just for your clearance.
oh, 40.
Okay, can I say something, please?
No,
That's
we're
unreasonable.
moving on to
To
the
do it,
next
4 or
one.
5
Thank you.
days,
Thank you
get a
for
fence
coming,
up?
sir. You
Okay.
can talk to the code enforcement officer.
all right.
He'll help you out when you
Okay,
leave.
but I'm saying, you're aware where they put a fence up, right? That's unreasonable.
Next case
Okay, I'm
is
just being very open with you,
25-33
period.
CB, Winner or Weiner Williams, Dollar Way, Sanford, Florida, 32771. And Officer Henson will be presenting this one.
Excuse me, can I have this in writing, please? On the way out of here?
You'll get a copy of the order, sir.
Okay. What's this, this is, come in here? Okay, all right.
Thank you. Before we start, if you could present your names, please.
My name is William Lowry.
I'm sorry, William
William Lowry.
Lowry?
Yes, sir.
And mine's Raymond Williams.
Raymond Williams. And you're
Winner
right?
is right here.
Oh, and that, I'm sorry.
I'm the husband.
Winner, okay. And sirs, how are you related to, she's the property owner?
She's the son.
I'm the
That's
son.
the son, I'm the dad, that's the wife.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Okay, we'll get moving along here. Officer Henson, whenever you're ready.
Seminole County Sheriff's Office Code Enforcement, Shannon Henson. Case number 2533 CEB, Winner Williams. For the record, I want to submit a copy of the presentation to the clerk. 25-33 CEB, Winner Williams, 30 Dalloway. The violation charge, Seminole County Land Development Code, Chapter 30, Part 5, Section 30.5.2. Use is permitted. Storage on a vacant parcel is not a permitted use in an R1 zoning district. The initial inspection was December 5th, 2024. Notice of respondents was December 9th, 2024, and January 9th, 2024. Compliance date was December 24th, 2024, and the second compliance date was January 24th, 2025. Follow-up inspections were January 3rd, 2025, February 11th, 2025, March 10th, 2025, April 14th, 2025, and April 23rd, 2025. The results of the follow-up inspection, the storage violation remains on the vacant parcel. This image was taken on my initial inspection in December 5th, 2024. This is the same day also. This was January 3rd, 2025. And this is February 11th, 2025. and March 10th, 2025. And this was when I posted it on April 14th, 2025. And this one was taken yesterday by myself, and again from yesterday. Excuse me. The suggested recommendation by the code enforcement officer is based on the testimony and evidence presented in the case number 25-33-CEB. It is determined that the respondent, Winter Williams, is the owner of property of the record located at Dollaway, located in Seminole County as determined by the property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property, and is violation of the Seminole County Land Development Code, Chapter 30, Part 5, Section 30.5.2. And it's further recommended that the Code Enforcement Board issue an order for the respondents to correct the violation on or before midnight of May 8th, 2025. In order to correct the violation, the respondents must remove the storage from the vacant parcel. If the respondent does not comply with the order, a fine of $100 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondents may contact myself or to arrange an inspection to verify that the property is in compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Questions for Officer Henson? Seeing none, this is your opportunity. You saw the violation. The recommendation is to have it corrected by May 8th, or there'll be a $100 a day fine that would be imposed. That's what we're looking at. Go ahead, folks.
That's fine, sir. I got a picture I took today. We got to move a car and a jet ski off the property, and that'd be it.
Excuse me, could you move your microphone closer to you? I'm having trouble hearing you.
I took a picture of the property today before I came in.
Yeah, don't show the phone, because then they have to put it into the record. So don't show her the phone, okay?
What'd you say?
Just talk. Don't show her your phone.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I took a picture today. Well, I got a picture now, and tomorrow we'll move the car, jet ski, and the boat trailer. And she can come by there and take another picture. That's it.
So you believe that you would be able to comply with the May 8th date that's being given?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have cleaned it up, all that. What you seen on the pictures, everything clean. She been riding by checking. All that stuff gone, except the car. Keep going. Go to the yesterday picture. The car's still there, and the jet ski in the back is still there, and the boat trailer is still there. Now that piece of concrete in the front, do I have to remove that?
No, that's permanently there.
Okay. May 8th is good enough time to be removed.
Any other questions? Seeing none, nothing else to add. Officer Henson, you're good. Okay. Yes, Mr.
I'll move that we accept staff's recommendation with a compliance date of May 8th.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Simon, second by Ms. Townsend. Accept staff's recommendation, putting a compliance date of May 8th on it, or a fine of $100 per day will be imposed. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That's what we've done. Sounds like you're heading there. Thank you
sir.
for what you've done so far.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you.
Next case is right below that one, case number 25-34, CEB, Linda J. Smith, 137 Jewel Drive, Altamont Springs, 32714. If you're here for that case, please step to the table. And once you get comfortable there, if I can get your name in relationship to the case.
Linda Smith.
Thank you.
I took a picture before I came in. Okay. Okay.
Whenever you're ready, Officer Adair.
Code Enforcement Officer Cameron Adair, Seminole County Sheriff's Office, South Region. This is case number 25-34-CEB. The respondent is Linda J. Smith. would like to submit a copy of this PowerPoint presentation to the clerk as Exhibit A. The violation is located at 137 Jewel Drive, Seminole County, Florida. The violation charge, Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3A, rubbish. My initial inspection was on December 12th, 2024. Notices to respondent were January 3rd and January 21st, 2025, with compliance dates set for January 20th and February 5th, 2025. Follow-up inspections were January 2nd through yesterday, April 23rd, 2025. The results are the rubbish violation remains on subject property. This is our images from my initial inspection on December 12th, 2024. You can see the tree debris in the right photo, and in the left under the carport is a bunch of miscellaneous items and rubbish. This is a follow-up inspection on January 2nd. You could see that the tree debris in the right have been removed, but the rubbish under the carport remains. Follow-up inspection on January 21st. The pile of rubbish under the carport remains. This is another follow-up inspection on February 5th. It has been reduced, but the rubbish remains. Follow-up inspection February 21st, same conclusion. This is the date of the green card. I received it on March 31st. This is a follow-up inspection yesterday. The rubbish has been reduced, but it still remains. The suggested recommendation is based on testimony and evidence presented in case number 2534 CEB. It is determined that the respondent, Linda J. Smith, is the owner of record of property located at 137 Jewel Drive, located in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's records, is in possession or control of the property, and is in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3A, rubbish. It is further recommended that the Code Enforcement Board issue an order for the respondent to correct the violation on or before midnight of May 9th, 2025. In order to correct the violation, the respondent must remove the rubbish from the property. If the respondent does not comply with the order, a fine of $100 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions, Officer Adair? Mr. Simon?
Yes, if this homeowner were to put up like tarps on the two sides that are exposed, would that still be a code violation? Like if you couldn't see from the street the rubbish?
Am I allowed to answer that? I don't think so. It's still a violation.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Ma'am, thank you for being here today. This is your opportunity to speak to what we're looking at. You saw the recommendation is to give you a compliance date of May 9th, and then fines of $100 a day would be imposed. So
May 9th is good. I took a picture this morning, but it's on my phone. I didn't get a chance to make a copy, but I have the whole area cleared out now, and there's just like a quarter of it left for me to work on. But I like to know exactly what am I allowed to have on my cardboard.
that man right there will be the one to tell you. And when the case is over, he can talk in. I would get ahead of myself, but strongly suggest you call him out when you think you're done to look at it and
Yeah.
before. But in any case,
I mean, like I said, I've got only a quarter of the stuff left. Because unfortunately, you know how it is when you're going through stuff, you see this, you got to look at it and read it and throw it away. I just wanted to throw stuff away, is why it's taking me this long.
thank you.
You do believe that you can comply with this May 9th date?
Oh, yeah. I'm in the mood to throw stuff away.
You must know my wife.
I'm on a run here, and I want to go with it, and I just throw everything away I can find.
Thank you.
And at first, I thought it was my van because it's been sitting there for a long time, and the guy across the street's been wanting to buy it, so I sold it to him so I could get rid of the van there, too. So I'll have it all cleared out.
Any other questions or motion?
I move that we accept staff's recommendation with a compliance date of May 9th or a fine of $100 per day.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Simon, second by Mr. Bates to accept staff's recommendation, finding that there is a violation, accept staff's recommendation, giving a compliance date of May 9th, or $100 a day fine would be imposed. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That's what we've done. Just get with him, as I said, probably the sooner the better, give you a little cushion. Thank you for what you've done so far. We recognize that, and we appreciate you coming in today.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case is, looks like there's 3 companion cases on this same property. We'll start with 25-35 CEB Mabel Hill, Harry Hill, Bernice McKinney, Air and Cheryl M. Hardy. Address is 2054 Snipes Avenue, Sanford, Florida, 32771. That'll be followed by 25-36 CEB, followed by 25-37 CEB. This is Officer Henson again, so whenever, as a matter of fact, I want to figure out who we got here once they get seated. Whoever might be speaking today, if you could identify by name who you are and your relationship to the case.
I'm Russell McKinney. I'm Bernice McKinney's heir.
Mr. McKinney needs to get sworn in.
Mr. McKinney, you'll need to be sworn in just a minute. Ma'am, your name, please?
Cheryl Hardy.
You need to be sworn in, too?
No, I've been sworn in.
Okay, Mr. McKinney, could you stand up, raise your right hand? The clerk will swear you in when she gets a moment.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. We'll come to you in a moment. We're going to hear the 3 cases from Officer Henson, and then we'll let you address those. Officer Henson, whenever you're ready, we'll start with 25-35 CEB.
Seminole County Sheriff's Office Code Enforcement, Shannon Henson. Case number 25-35-CEB, Mabel Hill, Harry Hill, Bernice McKinney, Air, and Cheryl M. Hardy. For the record, I'm going to submit a copy of the presentation to the clerk, Exhibit 1. This is this violation is at 2054 Sipes Avenue, Sanford, Florida. The violation charge is Seminole County, Chapter 95.4, as defined in 95.3B, uncultivated vegetation. The initial inspection was September 21st, 2024, with the first notice in September 13th, 2024, with the follow-up one October 3rd, 2024. Compliance dates were September 30th, 2024, and October 16th, 2024. The follow-up inspections were October 2nd, 2024, October 28th, 2024, January 3rd, 2025, and April 23rd, 2025. The violation of the uncultivated vegetation remains on the subject property. This was taken by myself in the initial inspection, September 12th, 2024. And this one was taken by my Sergeant Worthington, October 2nd, 2024. And this was taken by myself October 28th, 2024. And January 3rd, 25, I'm sorry. And this was taken yesterday, April 23rd, 2025. The suggested recommendation by the code enforcement officer is based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 25-25 CEB. It is determined that the respondents, Mabel Hill, Harry Hill, Bernice McKinney Air, and Cheryl M. Hardy are the owners of the property located at 2054 Sipes Avenue, located in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraisers, in possession or control of the property, and is in violation of Seminole County Code Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3B. and it's further recommended that the Code Enforcement Board issue an order for the respondents to correct the violation on or before midnight of May 8th, 2025. In order to correct the violation, the respondents must remove all uncultivated vegetation in excess of 8 inches in height from the property. If the respondents do not comply with the order, a fine of $50 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondent must contact myself to arrange an inspection to verify of compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions, Officer Henson, before she, yeah, Mr. Sun?
Can we go back to the last slide, the yesterday? So are we basically what we're looking at on the photo that's on my left is the vegetation that's backed by the tree. This is the extent of the violation currently. Is everything else?
Correct. The
Okay,
backyard's
thank you.
still on, yeah.
Thank you.
And no other questions? You can start on the second case, which would be 25-36 CEB.
Seminole County Sheriff's Office Code Enforcement, Shannon Henson. This case is 25-36-CEB. Maple Hill, Harry Hill, Bernice McKenna, Air, and Cheryl M. Hardy are the respondents. This property is at 2054 Sipes Avenue. The violation charged is Seminole County Chapter 95, Section 95.4 is defined in 95.3A, rubbish. The initial inspection was September 21st, 2024. The first notice was September 13th, 2024, and the second notice was October 3rd, 2024. Compliance day is September 30th, 2024, and October 16th, 2024. Follow-up inspections are October 2nd, 2024, October 28th, 2024, January 3rd, 2025, and April 23rd, 2025. The follow-up inspection, the rubbish violation remains on the property. This picture was taken by myself September 12th, 2024, and October 2nd, 2024 by my Sergeant Worthington. And this was taken by myself October 28th, 2024, and January 3rd, 2025. And this was taken myself yesterday, April 23rd, 2025. The suggested recommendation by the Code Enforcement Officer based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 25-36 CEB is it's determined that the respondent Maple Hill, Harry Hill, Bernice McKenna Air, and Cheryl M. Hardy are the owners of the property. Record of the property located at 2054 Sipes Avenue, located in Seminole County, determined by the property appraiser's records, and is in possession or control of the property and is in violation of Seminole County Code Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3A. And it's further recommended that the Code Enforcement Board issue an order for the respondents to correct the violation on or before midnight of May 8th, 2025. In order to correct the violation, the respondents must remove the rubbish from the property. If the respondents do not comply with an order, a fine of $100 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondents must contact myself to arrange an inspection of the property while to verify compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Henson? Seeing none, you can read the third case is 25-37 CEB, same respondent, same address.
It's 37. What do you want? I didn't give it what? Sorry, my bad. For the record, I'm submitting a copy of the presentation to the clerk as Exhibit 1. Sorry about that. All right. Seminole County Sheriff's Office Code Enforcement, Shannon Henson. This case is 25 CEB, 2537 CEB. Respondents are Maple Hill, Harry Hill, Bernice McKenna, Air, and Cheryl M. Hardy. This property is located at 2054 Sipes Avenue. The violation charge is Seminole County Code Chapter 95, 95.4 is defined in 95.3C, rubble of a structure. And I'm going to submit this copy to the clerk as Exhibit 1. The initial inspection was September 21st, 2024. The first notice was September 13th, 2024, October 3rd, 2024. The compliance dates were September 3rd, 30th, 2024, October 16th, 2024. And follow-up inspections were October 2nd, 2024, October 28th, 2024, January 3rd, 2025, and April 23rd, 2025. The results of the follow-up inspection, the violation of remains of a structure remains on the property. And this was taken by myself September 12th, 2024, October 2nd, 2024, by my sergeant, October 28th, 2024. This is yesterday, April 23rd, 2025. The suggested recommendation by the code enforcement officer is based on the testimony and evidence presented in the case number 25-27 CEB. It is determined that the respondents, Mabel Hill, Harry Hill, Bernice McKenna Eyre, and Cheryl M. Hardy, are the owners of the record of property located at 2054 Sipes Avenue, located in Seminole County, is determined by the property appraiser's record and in possession or control of the property and is in violation of Seminole County Chapter 95, Section 95.4 as defined in 95.3C. And it's further recommended that the Code Enforcement Board issue an order for the respondents to correct the violation on or before midnight of May 8th, 2025. In order to correct the violation, the respondents must repair or remove the rubble of a structure. If the respondents do not comply with the order, a fine of $100 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondent must contact myself to arrange an inspection for the property to verify compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Henson? Mr. Senator?
Yeah, can you just walk me through a couple of these photos, starting with this one? Is this what is this structure?
This is a shed that's outside of the house, and it's very unstable.
Can we go back then to the yes, the structure in the right photo that is on the left, does this structure have to be demolished in order for them to meet code? Is it still there?
The one that's covered with the tarp?
No.
That's the shed. The house, it's got a bad porch on it, but I can't verify that the house itself is falling down.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
The blue tarp is covering the shed.
The blue tarp, is that shed in both pictures? We're seeing part of it and then I got you. Okay.
The other one was for my rubbish.
I got you. And just curious, do you know if that shed was ever permitted, or is that just not dealing with that? Okay. It just seems, all right. Any other questions? Seeing none. Folks, this is your opportunity. You heard we've got three things we're looking at here today. They were just presented, and just to abbreviate, I'm going to call one the vegetation issue, the rubbish issue, and the remains or rubble of a structure, that shed that has to come down. I'm going to guess there may have permit issues, but we're not here for that. So keep that in mind. You've got till May, the recommendation is May 8th or fines kick in. These folks here are going to be decided in a minute. They may have more questions. Go ahead, and those three issues are what we're here for, and let these folks know if that date sounds
Well,
doable.
working with Deputy Shannon, it's been following up, depending on how much time you give me, to try to get things in order. A lot of the scrap metal and stuff that I was scrapping out has been removed. And as Deputy Shannon told you earlier, the yard, it just in the back. I gotta cut down some thick stuff in the back, and I don't got the tools to work with. But it can, depending on what kind of time y'all give me to get that right. And then as far as the shed, it wasn't. It's been there since '72. So what it was is not on a solid foundation. So I got to get some kind of way. I got to get that corner, because it looks like, you know, the foundation that's drop down in one corner, so we got to have it jacked up. It's just a small shed, but I got to have it jacked up so it can be posted on that one corner and get it, because from the distance, it looks like it's just, you know, it's draped, but the roof is still good and the structure is still good. It's just that one corner got to get, that foundation right there has got to be built up under that corner. So depending on what kind of time, that's the one right there in the corner right there with the white panels right there. You can see how it dips down a little bit. But as far as the other part in the back and on the other sides, it's all good. Just done drop down some, and then you coming down Sipes, you looking at it from that way there, it looks like it's on a downslope, and that's why. So.
Any questions?
Can you tell me what the situation, sir, is with the house? Is there anyone living in the house?
Yes, sir. It needs some repair work. I can't really get nobody to help me, like as far as you know, the shed is just a resident. But yeah, it's livable. It's livable, but it's got to have some work did on it. I had one of the jacks broke, and that made it kind of like got to get jacked up, and then the roof got to be repaired and stuff too. Before I came, you know, to live there, the house was ran through by being rented out, you know. And I've been living there now since 2018 because of my situation with my marriage. I moved back out to Midway to my grandma's property. And so it's like I say, the house was built in '72, and so I mean not in '72. For 72 years, the house. Let me correct that. The house is 72 years old. But like I say, you know, it's a livable structure. And it was built on a solid foundation. There was a lot of action there, so it's got a feel behind it. But yeah, you know, depending on the time y'all give me, you know, to get like the deputy will tell you, a lot of the rubbish been removed. The yard has been cut in the front and on the sides, and in the back we got that old cane grass, that old aggravating cane grass. Man, I got to get something to try to kill that off and probably just dig it up. But that's what you see from the side, you know, from some of the shots.
You don't seem like you want to remove the shed.
No, it don't got to be removed. No, sir, because it don't. It's just like I say, from when you're looking at it coming down Sipes, and right there, it's at the corner of Sipes and 21st. When you look at it, it looks, you know, it looks down here, but that's all because of that one corner. Got to be jacked up, and then a foundation got to be put there so they can get that board that's on the corner on the right. It's got to be built back up. See where I got the panels at? You see, because what happened was I put those panels there because what happened was it just dropped down. And I was just trying to. I never got that to stay. I just got that for cosmetics because, like I said, it done dropped down so bad. Well, not so bad where it'll fall and hurt nobody. Not that bad. But it is an eyesore when you're looking from the street. So what I got to do, I got to get with me a carpenter or somebody that can help me. I don't got the finances like that to just say call anybody out and get somebody to help me. I'm self-employed. I am cleaning service. But I got a couple suggestions from a couple men there about around the city of Sanford and Midway, how we can get it jacked up and we pour a foundation right there and put that 4x4 there up. Because like if you can see the section in the middle, that's where the roof, you know, just kind of like tilted down from the other part. So it's something that's got to be repaired. But you know, it's still a usable shed. Like it just looks like that from the road.
I have just a couple of questions. What's the size of the shed?
It's probably about like a 16 by 16.
Does it have a foundation?
Yes, ma'am.
It's not dirt?
No, not this.
Not concrete foundation?
No. That one part right there don't have it don't got no concrete foundation. Back then they got these blocks about like
concrete blocks.
Yeah, and it's a thing, and what it done did, it done like tilted off to the side. So all that's got to be brought up.
Is there anything, are you storing anything in it at this time?
Not that front part, but I got my stuff that I store in the back part, but I don't have anything in there. You know, just like holiday stuff for like Christmas ornaments and stuff like that. But I don't have anything. They don't. The whole foundation ain't like poured like they do today. They got these pillars. These about this wide, about 4 inches thick under each corner, and that's what they got. That's what.
Nobody's living in it.
No, ma'am. Not that part there. No, ma'am.
Did you have something, Mr. Bates? Okay,
Officer Henson, all three of these violations go back to September of last year.
Correct.
Has progress been made much on any of these violations since then?
Well, the vegetation was almost removed, other than the backyard, and I think he does scrapping, so things come in and out of the property, so it gets better and then it gets worse again.
So again, the question is scrapping a permitted use on this property?
But it's been ceased now. It was out of order. It was out of control. Excuse me for cutting in on you, but it was out of control, and that's when I had a vehicle and stuff and I was scrapping, but it done got, and now I used to keep a lot of bicycles, and, you know, people used to come and get a rim, buy a rim from me or a frame or something. I don't do that kind of stuff no more, so it had got out of control. And when I say the harassing neighbor call, which is her right, you know, it was out of control, and I didn't have it upkept like it should have been. But since September the 1st until now, I'm down to 2 bicycles, and I don't do a whole lot of scrapping. Like, you know, I just keep like bed frames and everything when you see them under other properties, and I'll bring them there and store them until I go to the scrap yard with a diesel amount. But I don't do that anymore. And I didn't have a lawnmower for a few months, and so that made the rubbish and all grow up around the house, and it looked like it was just a decapitated piece of property. But I've gotten everything in control, pretty much. Besides the back, I got to get me some kind of way to get me some kind of dig that cane grass up in the back. It's a mess. It is a mess. But other than that, it's a livable piece of property, and nothing needed to be torn out. It just
Okay, Mr. Lowry, Mr. Lowry, I believe, right? Yeah.
Mr. McKinney.
Mr. McKinney. Okay, somebody was Lowry over there. But we're going to hear from county staff. There's something else they want to add. I may have a couple questions unless she covers it, which I think she may. Ma'am, go ahead.
One of the members inquired about whether or not these structures...
I'm sorry, I need you to introduce yourself.
I'm sorry, Megan Zanorski for Planning and Zoning. One of the members inquired about whether or not these structures were permitted. The structures do predate building permits. The original structure, the house, was constructed in 1925 with an update around about 1960, I believe, and if the shed was constructed in 72, that would have predated building permits. So unless they're modified and altered, they would need to conform with current building and zoning standards. But as they said, they're legal non-conforming if they don't conform with current zoning standards, but they are allowed to exist in their current state unless they don't meet and they're unsafe.
Thank you. That's where I was going. And so while I got you here, a couple more questions. In regards to, because I was going to ask them what it shows on the property appraiser's records, whether that's there or not. So if it's not, it probably is not there. What do they need to do? They're going to have a carpenter come, is their plan at this point. As far as the codes and permit department, how do they move forward with
He would need a building permit to do anything structural with the shed. Especially if it has to deal with the foundation, which it sounds like it does, to jack up that corner. What that would entail, I would suggest that you stop in at the building department and talk to a plans examiner to find out the details of what you would need for structural plans. For what I would need a site plan, which does not need to be a survey. You can stop in and see me at any time. I can give you a card before you leave. I can help you through that process. We're available. I just need a site plan showing setbacks, and if it doesn't, we can get them through that process as well. Staff's really easy to work with. We make it as painless as possible on them.
We're just trying to save you some aggravation if you come back in a month.
Sir.
So I suggest you listen to what she says and do that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So if you bring them back for compliance and they need additional time, we're happy to give you a time frame of what they would need.
Any other questions?
Oh, no, I do.
Yes.
So give them an idea, because they need to ask this board for time.
Well, I don't know until I would see a site plan, depending on what they need. So if it's just a regular building permit because they're compliant on setbacks, it could be 30 or 60 days. If they need a variance and it encroaches into a drainage easement, which I doubt, given the area that it has easements on it, that if it needs a vacate, it could be 6-9 months. So it just depends on what we're dealing with on the site, and I don't know that until I see.
Do they need a permit to demolish?
They do need again, if it has electric or plumbing in it, it does. I doubt this does. But again, until I know what's there, I don't know.
But let's say it didn't have anything.
It didn't. I'm going to direct them to the building division because I don't work in the building division. My understanding is they don't if it doesn't have plumbing or electric. That's what a demolition permit typically requires. But again, I'm not in, so please do stop in and talk to somebody in the building division.
Just to kind of give you an idea of options and times.
It's the connections, the trade connections that typically need a demolition permit.
Okay, so,
I would like to speak when I'm able to, please.
yeah, sure, now's the time.
Thank you. This is my brother. I'm Cheryl M. Hardy. The other names up there, they're deceased, so I'm the only living person up there. This property, I live elsewhere. And since I've been served with these papers, that makes me responsible for this site. That house there is really unlivable. The shed is unlivable. And I don't want to, because I did speak to Ms. Henson myself, and she was going over it. I work every day. I take care of my family. So, and since I don't live there, I'm not always there. But when I pass by, I really want something done with this place because it is a site for sore eyes. My brother's there, but there's been times things have not been kept up to par. I don't want the responsibility because you all are going to bill me those violation charges. And I don't want anything to really do with that. So I'm going to have to find a way, or someone can tell me what is the next step. I think someone lives there, which their house is unlivable. They shouldn't even be there. The roof is bad, the floors is bad, everything is bad at this place. So I need somebody to tell me what I need to do, because when you all want to charge a violation or charge somebody, you're going to be charging me. And I don't want to be charged with that because I don't want to take on that responsibility. I think the whole place needs to be demolished and done with. It's too much fixer-upper. It's not a fixer-upper. It's not something that can be done right away. Because if that was the case, and if they wanted it so bad, it wouldn't look in the condition that it's looking now. So I'm going to have to find a way to excuse myself because I don't want to be liable for this. And I don't think it's worth saving. I don't think it's worth keeping. Do I have the money to get it all destroyed? No, I do not. I work hard, but I do not have the money or the resources. But if I'm given direction, I will find a way to make this happen so I can relinquish my my connection to this property, because it's not going to come up to par. It's not going to get better. It's only really getting worse. Yes, my brother has been doing some things around there. That's good and that's great, but it's not enough. And they're trying to clean up the area, trying to make it look better. This is not helping it at all. So I need your help to tell me what I need to do to figure out a way to demolish this property. And like I say, I think someone's in there. They shouldn't be in there. That should be a code violation right there. So I'm soliciting your help.
So where I supposed to live, on the street? You want to tear down, listen at me.
No,
You wanna
well,
tear
we're
down
not
the
gonna go
structure
there
that's
now.
approved
We're here
structure?
for code. You need to
Take
be
your
in
name
front
off the
of the
title
place.
then. Take your name off the
No,
title.
no.
Take your name off the title and let me live.
This is not the
here.
place.
Okay, hold on,
Because you take
please.
your name off the title and then I'll live. I'm trying to get my name on the title anyway. I tell you to add it to me. My money, I would qualify for some programs that will help come supplement this house.
Ms. Hill?
Okay?
Have you talked?
It's Hardy.
I'm sorry, Ms. Hardy. I'm going to take over for
Yes.
just 1 second. Have you spoken to an attorney?
I have not, but if
Okay.
you give me one, I certainly will.
So this board unfortunately can't give you legal advice, but I have the phone number for the Seminole County Bar Association
Yes,
Legal Aid
ma'am.
Services.
Yes,
And we'll
ma'am.
have the code officer give you that phone number when you
Yes,
leave
ma'am.
here.
Yes, ma'am.
Unfortunately, they can't give you legal advice to tell you how to handle that situation that you've been
I
talking
understand
about.
that.
But I
Yes.
think you got some really good suggestions by the county representative, and I
Yes,
would
ma'am.
encourage you, when you leave here today, to go see her and get her business card.
Yes, ma'am.
And at the same time, reach out to the Legal Aid Society to see if you qualify for their services.
Yes, ma'am.
I've got to bring the board back, though. You have 3 cases before you. Pursuant to Chapter 162, you have to make a determination whether there is a violation and provide a reasonable time for compliance. You've heard the situation. It's been pending for a bit now. But maybe now that you have someone in chambers that understands the urgency, you all can come up with a time period that is more reasonable, but understand that it has been pending for quite a bit of time as well. So, but you need to kind of make that decision, so you need to close the hearing.
I have a question for Ms. Hardy before we
Yes,
close
sir.
the hearing.
Yes, sir.
Is there anyone else's that is alive, that's name is on this title besides yourself?
No, Mabel is deceased, Harry is deceased, Bernice McKinney is deceased.
Now, it says Bernice McKinney heir. That's anybody that's an heir of Bernice McKinney.
Okay.
If you look at it properly.
We got it.
Because that's how she got there, because she's my
Okay,
sister.
We're getting way beyond. Thank
Yeah.
you. Appreciate the answer.
I just wasn't in the process to get my name added when my grandmama died. I was doing my own thing, I was living my life.
I understand.
Okay,
First
that's why my
case,
name ain't there now.
5-35 CEB.
Right.
That's the vegetation case. That and the 3 others, the recommendation is, by March 8th, or on this one, a $50 a day fine. That's what's being recommended.
May 8th.
May, I'm sorry.
I'd like to take this one up just for the simple fact that I feel like this one should be the easiest one of all of them to comply with. And so I'm going to make a motion in the first case only. This is 25-35, uncultivated vegetation, that we accept the recommendation of staff, and the May 8th would be the compliance date, and with the fine per day that staff asked for, which I don't seem to see here on my page.
$50.
$50.
This one's 50, yeah. This first one, the recommendation's 50. Is that what you wanted to go with?
Yes, for 25-35, I would like to go with the exact staff recommendation for both fine and compliance date of May 8th.
Okay, we motion on the floor, find there is violation with those parameters set around it that he just mentioned. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bates, motion by Mr. Simon. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The second one is 25-36 CEB. This is the rubbish case. Same recommendation by May 8th, or $100 a day fine on this one.
The other two seem like they're more complicated, and I'll hand them off to the rest of the board.
Well, I don't think the rubbish is particularly complicated. I would go with staff recommendation on 25-36. For the May 8th, and is it $50 a day?
100 on that one.
$100 a day. I would think the
Motion by-
rubbish could be cleaned up.
Motion by Ms. Townsend to accept staff's recommendation, finding that there is a violation. Compliance by May 8th, or $100 a day fine imposed. Second by Mr. Bates, I believe, verbally, Mr. Bates.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bates. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And then the last one, 25-37 CEB. This is the rubble of a structure. This is the shed. Staff's recommendation by May 8th, or $100 a day fine.
I'd be willing to extend staff's recommendation on that for 45 days in order to give them time to speak to the county staff. Whatever date that makes it, if it's 45 days.
It looks like June 8th, and our meeting would be July 24th.
I'll second that motion.
You want it on the June 8th, the 45-day?
Okay.
Okay. Ms. Townsend made a motion to set staff's recommendation, finding that there is a violation on 25-37 CEB.
Give you some time.
Given till May 8th, or $100 a day fine, second by Mr. Simon.
No, June 8th.
June 8th.
June 8th. No, I'm sorry.
Didn't you extend the compliance date?
Yes,
To June 8th.
Okay. all right.
June 8th.
It's not May the 8th.
No,
June 8th.
June the 8th.
that gives some time to talk to staff and/or an attorney.
June the 8th, okay.
That's the recommendation. And then, Mr. Simon, you seconded that.
Yes.
All right.
Everybody clear on that? Need to repeat? We're good? Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That's what we've done. Y'all get all that?
Thank you.
Yes, and strongly suggest do what was recommended here, and Officer Henson will tell you whenever you're in compliance, so keep in touch with her as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can we take a break?
Take a break?
Can we take a break?
Yeah, sure. We're going to take a short break here at 2:52 p.m.
I'm a girl, I can always take a break.
3:05.
You know how that is.
Start back up at
We'll be
3:05.
back at 3:05.
All right.
Thank you.
25-7?
Okay, we're going to get started again. It's 3:05. Welcome back. We did have, since we initially started the meeting, we had a couple other respondents come in, so we're going to go back with them. The first one that came in is on page 1. It's actually item number 1, which is case number 25-27 CEB.
Okay.
Cindy N. and Michael E. Torres, 121 Alma Drive, Altamont Springs, 32714. If you're here for that case, please step up to the table here. We're going to ask you to identify yourself and if you've been sworn in. Okay, if you could then remain standing and we'll swear you in here. And, no, that's fine. She's going to swear you.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead and have a seat, ma'am. When you get behind that microphone, if you tell us your name.
Cindy Torres?
Thank you. Okay, and this is Officer Adair's case. Whenever you're ready, sir.
Code Enforcement Officer Cameron Adair, Seminole County Sheriff's Office, South Region. This is case number 2527 CEB. The respondent is Sydney N. and Michael E. Torres. Would like to submit a copy of this PowerPoint presentation to the clerk as Exhibit A. The violation is located at 121 Alma Drive, Seminole County, Florida. The violation charge, Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3A, rubbish. My initial inspection was on December 4th, 2024. Notices to respondents were December 6th, 2024 and January 2nd, 2025, with compliance dates set for December 23rd, 2024 and January 20th, 2025. Follow-up inspections were January 2nd through yesterday, April 23rd, 2025. The results are the rubbish violation remains on subject property. These are images from my initial inspection on December 4th, 2024. You can see the rubbish on both photos. This is a follow-up inspection, January 2nd, 2025. The rubbish remains, especially in the right of the house down that alleyway. Follow-up inspection, January 21st, 2025. The rubbish remains. This is date of posting, April 11th, 2025. You can see there's rubbish at the roadside, and down that alleyway, there's still more debris, miscellaneous items, etc. This is yesterday's inspection, April 23rd. You can see the same pile of rubbish remains at the front and down the side of the home. The suggested recommendation is, based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2527 CEB, it is determined that the respondents Sydney N. and Michael E. Torres are the owners of record of property located at 121 Alma Drive, located in Seminole County as determined by the property appraiser's records, are in possession or control of the property, and are in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3A, rubbish. It is further recommended that the Code Enforcement Board issue an order for the respondents to correct the violation on or before midnight of May 9th, 2025. In order to correct the violation, the respondents must remove the rubbish from the property. If the respondents do not comply with the order, a fine of $100 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions, Officer Adair or Mr. Simon?
Yeah, is the trampoline part of the violation or no?
No.
Thank you.
Okay, this is your opportunity to speak. The recommendation is that you have it corrected by May 9th, or there'd be a fine of $100 a day that would start from then. So whatever you have to say about this.
That's fine. I'm not in arguing. I know that it needed to be cleaned up. I'm surprised he didn't get a photo yesterday. We actually have a trailer from U-Haul that's taking up my whole front, that's full of all that. So we've been waiting for county to pick it up from the bulk pickup, but they tell me that sometimes they don't have room to put it onto the trash pickup. So I ended up waiting 3 or 4 weeks for a pickup. That's what happened in December when I first got the first notice. I didn't get it picked up until the 3rd week of December because they just pick it up when they're able to. So I decided instead of waiting this time, because this is the notice that they left on the property, I hadn't gotten the other notices that it states, but I sometimes don't get my mail because it falls out of the mailbox and we find it on the street. But we did get the trailer from U-Haul, so we can haul it away ourselves instead of waiting for somebody to have room in the truck, so that we could take it to the landfill ourselves, so that we could just, avoid any trouble with that. I just had to wait till I had money, and I didn't have a car all of, most of February to March. I didn't have a vehicle. So I just got a car a month ago, so I was able to go ahead and secure a storage unit for the excess miscellaneous items, and then I could use the trailer to take the rubbish to the landfill myself.
Mr. Sun?
Do you believe that you can comply by May 9th?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Motion?
I move that we accept staff's recommendation with a compliance date of May 9th and a fine of $100 per day if the violation continues.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Simon, second by Mr. Bates, set staff's recommendation as presented, including the fact there is a violation. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's what we've done. You got to that date. Thank you. Appreciate your time coming in today.
Thank you.
Thanks, ma'am. Brings us on the next page to, it'd be page 2, case number 25-30 CEB Vulcan Domi and Dami Marie Hallow, 936 Red Fox Road, Altamont Springs, 32714. If you are here for that case, you could step up to the table, please.
And they have 3 cases, so you might be able to read the
Sure
next
do.
2, yeah.
We'll hear the first one first. The first one's going to be 25-30 CEB, followed by 25-31 CEB, followed by 25-32 CEB. Same respondents, same address.
You've got somebody coming.
Okay.
Can I use both of
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Were you sworn in?
No.
Okay, yeah, if you, whenever you get comfortable, there was rain standing for just a moment so we can get you sworn in.
Okay.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. You can have a seat.
Okay.
And we're going to hear these 3 cases, then we'll give you the chance to speak to them. Shanita Officer Hemingway, whenever you're ready.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
So,
Code Enforcement Officer Shanita Hemingway, Seminole County Sheriff's Office, South Region. Case number 2530 CEB, respondents Vulcan Dami and Dami Marie Halo. Violation address, 936 Red Fox Road. Violation charge, Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3A, rubbish. Oh, I'm sorry. I'd like to present this to the clerk as Exhibit A. My initial inspection was January 2nd, 2025. Notices were January 6, 2025, compliance date January 21st, 2025, follow-up inspections January 29th, 2025 through yesterday, April 23rd.
Really?
Yes. The results, the rubbish violation remains on the property. I took these pictures on January 2nd. You can see some of the rubbish. Okay, in the right photo where the arrow's pointing, that looks like the base of a toilet. This is more tree debris and I don't know if that was a hammock or if it was a game. I know at one point something there in the picture that she said she was selling, or I don't remember what was going on with that. And then there's more tree debris in the back. And that was January 29th. Went back on the day of posting, April 14th. The toilet remains and there's more tree debris. This was also the date of posting, April 14th. Went back on April 23rd, and I could see some improvement from posting to yesterday. There was a pile that was moved up, and there was actually some rubbish and cans by the road, but the violation remains. The suggested recommendation, based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2530 CEB, it is determined that the respondents, Vulcan Dami and Domi Marie Halo, are the owners of record, are in possession of the property, and are in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3A. And it is further recommended that the Code Board issue an order for the respondent to correct the violation on or before midnight of May 12, 2025. In order to correct the violation, she needs to remove the rubbish from the property. If she does not comply, a fine of $100 will be imposed for each day that the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Hemingway on this particular one? Seeing none, whenever you want to start on the next one, you can go ahead.
This isn't when I talk, right?
Not yet.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll
okay.
get to you.
We're good. I'm good. Thank you.
Code Enforcement Officer Shanita Hemingway, Seminole County Sheriff's Office, South Region. Case number 2531 CEB, respondent Vulcan Dami and Domi Marie Halo. I would like to submit a copy to the clerk, Exhibit A. Violation address 936 Red Fox. Violation charge, Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3F, stagnant or foul water. The initial inspection was November 4th, 2024. Notices, November 5th, 2024, November 26th, 2024, and January 6th, 2025. Compliance dates, November 20th, 2024, December 11th, 2024, and January 21st, 2025. Follow-up inspections, November 21st, 2024 through yesterday, April 23rd. The results were that the stagnant or foul water remains on the property. My initial inspection, you can see with the arrow, you could barely see it from my point because the house is a little elevated, so I was on a sidewalk. But you can barely see that little strip of green on November 4th, 2024, that it was stagnant water. On January 2nd, 2025, the homeowner came out and she gave me permission to go onto the property. She had drained it some, but still in the bottom, the water is stagnant. On January 29th, we had the same issue with the stagnant water. She mentioned her son possibly coming and helping dig it out because of her situation. As you can see, the crutch, she couldn't get down and get it out. This is the day of posting, April 14th, 2025. I was not able to go onto the property to speak to the owner to get permission, so I was not able to take pictures to see if the water was still stagnant on that day. The suggested recommendation, based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2531 CEB, is determined that the respondent, Vulcan Dami and Domi Marie Halo, are the owners of record, are in possession or control of the property, are in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3F. And it is further recommended that the Code Board issue an order for the respondent to correct the violation on or before midnight of May 12, 2025. In order to correct the violation, the the water must be removed or cleaned. If the respondent does not comply, a fine of $250 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions on this stagnant water case? Seeing none, if you want to go ahead with the third one, that'd be 25-32 CEB.
Yes, sir. Code Enforcement Officer Shanita Hemingway, Seminole County Sheriff's Office South Region. Case number 2532 CEB, respondent Vulcan Domi and Domi Marie Halo. I would like to present a copy to the clerk, Exhibit A. The violation address is 936 Red Fox Road. Violation charged, Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3G, unsecured swimming pool. The initial inspection was November 4th, 2024. Notices, November 5th, 2024, November 26th, 2024, and January 6th, 2025. Compliance dates, November 20th, 2024, December 11th, 2024, and January 21st, 2025. Follow-up inspections, November 21st, 2024 through yesterday, April 23rd, 2025. Results, the unsecured pool violation remains on the subject property. This is the pool enclosure on the initial inspection, November 4th. The enclosure has holes in it, so it has to be at least 48 inches to be considered, among other things, but because of the holes, that was one of the issues, and that's the picture there. So that was on November 21st, 2024, the hole remains. In this picture, January 2nd, and I think probably in the previous picture, she had got what we use to secure pools temporarily. She has some, and she said it was more heavy duty than what we use, and she secured the pool with that, but because that's considered temporary, it's still considered unsecured. On the left picture is the door where it apparently is not self-latching, self-closing because there's a gap in between where you can see with the arrow. And on the right picture is still no screen, and there are other screens missing, but that one is easy for me to see, to show you in the picture. This was dated posting April 14th, and as you can see with the arrow, it's still missing the screen. Yesterday, I also did an inspection, and as you can see, the screen is still missing. The suggested recommendation by the Code Enforcement Officer is based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2532 CEB. It is determined that the respondents Vulcan Domi and Domi Marie Halo are the owners of record of property, are in possession or control of the property, and are in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3G, unsecured swimming pool. And it is further recommended that the Code Board issue an order for the respondent to correct the violation on or before midnight of May 12, 2025. And in order to correct the violation, secure the pool by surrounding it with a fence or a barrier at least 48 inches in height above the finished ground level. Ensure the gate and doors and such barriers are self-closing and self-latching. Ensure that the self-latching device is at least 54 inches above the bottom of the gate, and ensure that the release mechanism is located on the pool side of the gate. If the respondents do not comply with the order, a fine of $250 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Hemingway?
Yes, officer, is this backyard not fenced in?
No.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a kind of a strange question, I guess.
Go ahead.
If they manage to drain the water out of the pool and keep the water out of the pool, is it still an unsecured pool?
Yes. It wouldn't be stagnant anymore, but it would still be unsecured just because the pool can hold the water.
Okay, no further questions. Ma'am, this is your opportunity to speak. We have three
Okay.
cases here. Before you get going, I didn't ask your name. I guess I'm a...
I'm Marie.
Yeah, okay.
Valka is my husband. Valka
Okay.
passed away 6 years ago. He went into Florida Hospital for a simple thing, and they cost him his life.
Yes, I'm sorry.
So, and I had knee surgery 8 years ago. I've never been able to bend my leg, which caused me to have a collapsed hip joint. And right now, I've got a blood clot, and I didn't go to the hospital like I'm supposed to because I had to come here. So just to show you, I'm trying to be very responsible. Number one, I'm a realtor, so I know the rules, and I know the rules with the pools, and I'll get to that in a second. I don't know when you came by yesterday, officer, but there was a whole crew of people there all day. So I don't know where you could have been or how you could have been there, but... And the day before also, we had a whole crew. I had 3 guys there the day before, and I had another crew, 3 guys there yesterday. So anyways, and I've got the proof to show you, okay? There was, in our backyard, well, let me backtrack. We have 20 big trees on our property. So when Hurricane Milton hit on 10/10, there was tons of, branches everywhere, tons of limbs, okay? And I really don't have anybody I can count on, per se, unless I beg them, pay them, whatever. Anyways, so I personally own 3 chainsaws. I bought the biggest one the week after the hurricane, just because we had limbs in the front too, so I wanted to make sure everything was taken care of because I didn't want to have a problem. So bottom line on that whole story was, in that back, the one picture that the officer showed, Officer Hemingway showed with the big tree, one of the trees had come down, had actually landed right between 2 other branches. It's stuck there. There's no way anybody... I've talked to 4 tree guys. I have a neighbor who's a landscaper. They don't want to touch it, so it's stuck there. So the bottom line on that picture was there was a branch sticking out, okay, and in between, and the bottom were all the logs. So when Officer Hemingway came out, she said, well, you got to get rid of that. I said, yeah, people have logs. And she said, yeah, she said, but, straighten them up. So we did, okay? Yeah, that picture right there. So if you were to come by now or anytime after, I think it was 2:30 yesterday, I had someone, here's a picture, and you can enter this. Here's what it looks like. This is as of this morning, and I printed this morning, and here's the logs stacked. And Officer Hemingway told me as long as they're stacked, because one of the guys who actually helped me wants the logs, but he couldn't take it yesterday because he had his kids with him, blah, 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 blah. So here's 2 pictures. This is the logs. So that's done. That's true. Okay. That little toilet was sitting there off to the side. Here's my trash from last night, this morning. The ping pong table, which somebody said they wanted, I said, forget it. I can't wait any longer. I threw it out. This is a hammock frame. So that was put out this morning, and they actually took the whole thing, took all of it. So this is just 2 pictures, the same thing, but those are gone. There's absolutely nothing rubbish, quote unquote, in my yard. And I have pictures of my yard. I'll show you. Here's the pictures of my yard. There's the left side of the yard, the neighbors across the street. Here's looking towards the right side of the yard. I also had somebody totally, with his big lawnmower, riding mower, mow down every single thing he possibly could also. So there's nothing there. Here's the right side, left side, right side. Here's the view. This is where the little ferns are growing. I've grown ferns in this area in between, the ones that are in my flower beds, because I'm a realtor. And when somebody doesn't have any flowers in their flower beds, and I'm trying to list the house, I'll say, oh, I can bring, and they don't have money, I'll bring them ferns, so typically. So I used to try to grow, some ferns so that I could take them to them so we didn't have to spend extra money. So I told the guy yesterday, I said, just mow them on down. And they weren't there anyways. They've been gone for months. They've been gone since the first time I saw an officer, because I did it myself. I bought a battery-operated weed whacker just because I can't count on anybody. You can only count on your fingers, So I had eliminated those months ago. So those have been gone since November, Anyways, that's that. And then here's the view from the other direction. So you can see this is exactly what it looks like. So there's no overgrown, okay? Okay. Let's see, so that's that. That was the rubbish area. Okay, stagnant water. Stagnant water, when the neighbors moved in next door, the house, we're on the corner. Okay, we're on this, this corner. People moved in, I don't know what they did, but somehow my pool pump got caught. The line got cut, okay? So I was trying to be nice and not trying to cause trouble and not trying to cause a problem with the guys. It's two gay guys, nothing against that, but you just don't know about people. So anyways, I never said anything to them about the line because, I don't want to cause problems. They just moved in, they seem like nice guys, and I want to have good neighbors. So my son had said, oh, don't worry, he has a friend whose dad has a pool company, and whose mother is also, by the way, a real estate attorney, and has given me all the latest, as far as the law is concerned, with owning a pool, okay? And they told me, Michael, my son, said, hey, don't worry, we'll get Noah's dad to come out and fix the pool line. Well, he's not come out yet and fixed the pool line. So I said, the rule according to the law in the state of Florida says you have to have a pool barrier that's at least 4 feet high. You also have to have a lock that's self-closing, that's 54 inches off the ground, which we've always had. And you also have to have, of course, the fencing. What did I miss? There's another thing. I'll think of it. Okay, so when I got this violation, I was like, oh, what happened at the end of August was the big bears, that we're all concerned about. I'm up working one night. It's the middle of the night. It's 1:20 in the morning, and I'm sitting at the dining room table, and I'm home alone with my little dog, and I hear this ruckus on my porch. I'm like, what the heck is that? And mind you, there's nothing on my porch, okay? Like the ping pong table's not there anymore. There's nothing there. There's no food. There's no nothing, okay? I'm like, what the heck? And I hear this banging, and I look out, and there was closer than from me to that other desk, was the back of a big bear. And I was like, oh my God. So I don't know what to do. I turned the dog around so the bear wouldn't see the dog, and the bear's looking the other way. And I had my phone, and I called. I'm banging on the door, go away, because I don't know what they're going to do. And it was big. I only saw him from the back. So I called. I thought I was calling the non-emergency number at Seminole County. They connected me over with the 911, the regular emergency number. And I was like, oh no, I didn't mean to call you. And they said, no, we're at 1:20 in the morning, 1:30. Now it's 1:30 in the morning. So anyways, he said, the dispatcher said, just keep making a lot of noise, which I was. I was banging on the door. I now have whistles on all my key rings, so. Because he told me buy a bullhorn, and I was like, what am I going to do if I'm not in the house, So the whistles are good. So anyways, this bear just looked, and he never turned around, but he went straight out the back. So he made a big hole in that bottom corner screen. You could see the big round, that bottom panel. So he went straight out the back. So that was, a big hole. And then we have hurricane damage to our screens. Okay, we have, like I said, 20 trees on the property. We had so many branches come down. Well, I filed a claim, on insurance. So I wasn't going to go about and fix the screens at that point because, I'm trying to get, an insurance claim. And, I've got this big hole too from the bear. and I have screen, so if there was ever a little hole or whatever, I've been trying to do it myself. I know how to use the spline, and we have 3 different kinds of spline, on ours, and I've got the tools and blah, 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 blah. So anyways, when I got this notice, I was like, oh no, because I can't really fix the screens because I have this insurance claim, okay? So what I did was I talked to the guy who's, dad's the pool company guy. His mom is a real estate attorney. She also owns a title company, Central Florida Legal. And just to make sure that I was doing the right thing. So what she told me was, same thing I already knew, you have to have the fence, it's got to be 4 feet high. I knew that because my son, was born in 1997. And, the year 2000 is when they changed the laws as far as the pool safety. So, we actually had holes drilled in ours because, our son, well, he could swim by way before he was 3, but just, in case. So anyways, what I did was I thought, well, I don't want to take a chance, okay? So what I did was I researched, how can you put up another fence on top of the screen? So what I found out was that there is this really good, it's called Ohuhu. It's a plastic barrier fence. It's not meant to be a temporary fence. It is not the same as the stuff that you guys put along the road. It's 3 times as thick. It's at least 3 times as much money. And I brought you just a little sample because it's 4 feet high. They had a 3 feet high. They had a green one. They had that, and this is just, and it comes in 100 feet rolls. Okay, so I bought 2 100-foot rolls. This is like each $100. Okay, and what I did was I also bought poles, metal poles, because what I did was I took zip ties and attached along and I have pictures of that. I attached every single place along where I could, and then I used the little metal poles, not little, they're 4 feet high. I bought 3-foot ones by mistake and realized, no, they should have been 4 foot. So I put in, I went every single spot all along the screen, all the whole way around, and put in 4-foot high fencing over, if it had a screen or not, so there is absolutely no opening anywhere on that whole pool all the way around. Yeah, the top panel above this might have a hole in it, but this is 4 feet high, and this is what the law said I had to have, okay? So here's a piece of that, just if you want to see it. Okay. And like I said, I didn't buy the cheap stuff. And then also, here's these are the locks, hold on. I'll show you one of these. Here's the pool ones. Here's the screen. I mean, here's the black, I have all kinds of pictures I took, just so I could show you. So here's the one side of the pool, left side. Here's the right side. And here's the back. So you can see, there is absolutely no gap anywhere. And, of course, that's intentional. All right, so that's that. And then, there's 2 pool screen doors. Okay, so the one closest to the street, that one, there's a lock on it, and it worked, but it didn't have that self-closure, like it's really supposed to. I mean, so I'd have to make sure it closed. What I did was I replaced it. And just to keep it nice looking, because the guy who did it actually bought a kit, so it came with the 2 pieces. So we replaced the handle part inside and out on that one, and then we also did and there's a close-up of the lock, and then also the bar part that goes across the door, and because that's the part that, allows it to either stay open or, swing closed. So this is all brand new, so just to make sure, and because it was the bar part that we really needed. Okay, so that's what that is. The other side, on the other screen door, like away from the street, that lock has always worked, and the bar part works on it. So here's the bar part, here's the inside. The lock on the outside looked kind of it was crummy looking. So he actually had to buy an extra. For some reason, he got 2 locks. The guy who did the locks got 2 top locks outside. So he said he might as well replace it. So I now have another brand new lock there. So the locks are definitely secured. And then my attorney said that, this case, she said this should have been over. When I told her I was coming here today, she said, why? She said, when you drained the pool, which was on October 18th, by the way, the pool was drained on November. Wait, let me tell you exactly. The hurricane was on the 10th. The pool was, we rented the pool pump on November 18th, and it was drained overnight on November 18th. And there was less than 1 inch of water when we did it. And it was like about this much around the drain, and the guy who did it, who helped me, said, that's as much as you can get out. He says, you can never get that little bit around. So, and then, of course, as it rained, there was a little bit more water coming in. So I was trying to, get it out so that it doesn't accumulate. And so it wouldn't be stagnant or, foul smelling. So then, I rented a pool 2 other times to get that, make sure there's no water there, just to try, when it rained, the week of the tornado in Seminole County, on Markham Woods Road, that's right down the street from us. So that was, just a month ago. And what I did was, that's where a lot of that other stagnant water had come from. So what I did at the time was I said, you know what, the heck with this. Until Noah's dad fixes my pool pump, I'm going to put a tarp over the whole pool. So what we did 2 nights ago is totally drained. There was just a little bit of water, but that ugly green picture that she had, that's not very current, by the way. We drained that again, and in this picture you'll see, this is not water, okay? This is it's a pit where it's turned black, and here's the other pits you can see. So this is 2 nights ago, not yesterday, night before, okay? And then what we did was I took the tarps, and I had a bunch of, and then I had a bunch of sandbags, that I always hung on to after all the hurricanes. So we took, of course I had to have somebody do this because I can't even lift these. So they took the tarps, put the two tarps across, so they're covered, there's no gaps, put sandbags right on the very edge, put sandbags also further back. So there is not a gap anywhere, nothing can get under this thing. And then this picture was just, I had an extra picture of this lock, and I thought, well, you know, this really kind of shows, too, the way the pool, because it's an irregular, like, shaped pool. So you can see, I mean, it's definitely secured. And there's no way anything can absolutely get under there. And the idea, of course, is, you know, get Noah to come over and fix my pool pump like he was supposed to, or his dad 2 years ago. And then hopefully this insurance claim will be paid, and then I can, you know, really do because I need to have my roof done, and I need to have the cage for the pool screen. See, the problem is none of the screen guys wanted to do the top screens because the cage came unattached to the house during the hurricane. So they won't even climb up on the screen. I mean, I had them out there. I had 2 different guys that used to work for us. They won't even climb up on the cage to do the top. I can't climb up there. I cannot do it with my leg. I can climb, you know, so far, but I am, you know, risking it, and I really shouldn't be. So, but you can't, you know, I've got to get that screen, the cage has to be, you know, fixed from, so that's where that insurance claim comes into play. But that's what I did, you know, and as far as I know, you know, everything, and there's absolutely nothing in our yard. There's absolutely no debris. There's nothing, there's nothing, you know, and there's nothing, you know, the pool is drained. There's nothing in the pool. If you were to go there right now, it's as dry as can be. This is the tarps over it, and it's secure all the way around. And like I said, you know, my attorney, who's a real estate attorney, said, you know what? It should have been, once you drained it, that should have been the end of this case, if that was the issue. But I understand there was a couple little things in the yard, so, okay. So that's it. You know, it's, it's, you know, everything's secured, unless there's something that I don't know about. You know, and I'm not a non-compliant person. I mean, I'm try to be very compliant. I don't need any more problems. I've had so many problems in my life. I've got all these health issues going on now. My back is curving, you know, from my leg and from my hip. As you can see, but I mean, I'm in my lung is starting to collapse. So, you know, I don't need any more problems with anything as far as stuff, you know, goes. So that's why I'm trying to get stuff done and do it the right way. Because if you don't do it the right way, then it's not going to be done the right way. So, anyways, so that's it.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions for me?
We'll find out in just a moment. Mr. Bates, do you have a question? No, I'm sorry.
So as far as, you believe you're in compliance in all 3 of these cases, correct?
Yes.
I'd make a motion to
One
accept.
moment. Officer Hemingway, when was the last time you were out there? And do you have anything to add or offer in regards to the testimony we just heard?
Like she said, well, I was out there yesterday and I was out there actually with Officer Adair as well. It wasn't after 2:30. As I said before, as far as the stagnant water, I mean, the water's green. I don't know what was in there. She did mention that they would have to get in and scoop it out, and she's not able to do that. So she said she would have to have her son assist her. What we go by is Muni Code. That's what we have to follow and the requirements that are in Muni Code. So, you know, I went by Muni Code and what I was also told by a senior officer who has more experience. As far as the tarp, and her pool pump not working, you have to have that flowing water. You have to have that pool pump. As far as the tarp, if it's not fitted to the pool and drilled into the pool, it doesn't necessarily meet the requirements. But again, you have the power to decide that, but as far as, you know, Muni Code or what, Chapter 95.
Did you see a tarp on either your 10 or 23rd visit?
No, the pictures there are days that she went up and gave me permission to go onto her property. So as I said before, I don't know if, I know I was doing a lot of talking. So on the 14th, when I did my posting, and the 23rd, I was not able to access the property. I was down on the sidewalk, and because the pool was drained, I wasn't able to see it from there. So no, the 14th and the 23rd, I was not able to see it.
Did I ask whether this yard, this backyard is not fenced in though,
No, sir.
correct?
It's not fenced in.
Thank you.
That's how I was able to see it.
Ma'am, did you have something you wanted to add?
What I was going to say is, Officer Hemingway, I mean, she's correct to an extent. That green picture that, you know, she showed, the most recent green, most of that water, I think, came from the hurricane, the tornado that hit Markham Woods Road, you know, a month ago, because I had a lot of rain. I mean, I had an absolute lot of rain. But 2 nights ago or 3 nights ago, 2 nights ago, We rented, the guy, Noah, whose dad owns the pool company, came, because I told his mom, the attorney, you know, she knew I was coming here. I had to talk to her about title work on another situation. And I told her I was coming. She said, why are you coming here? And that's why I said, you know, she said, you shouldn't have to come here because the pool was already drained. So she sent her son over because she was mad, you know, that he should have taken care of it like he was supposed to. So he came over, he was supposed to tell his dad, okay, to come in and fix my pool pump. Anyway, so he came 2 nights ago. We're on Thursday, so Tuesday night? Anyways, he came and he drained it again. So, and there is like, that's what I'm saying, if you were to see it right now, it is bone dry, absolutely bone dry. That's why I took the picture too, showing that, you know, where that pit is, because that's not water, that's actually a pit, where it's pitted, right around the drain, which is probably why it was holding water before. You know, it might have been water, maybe not, but there's absolutely nothing there. There's absolutely nothing there. You can see in the other picture, it is totally bone dry, and it's so hot outside.
You have no issue with the dates, the
Right.
compliance dates, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, I don't know what she did or didn't see, but, you know, but all that's gone. There's nothing there. There's absolutely nothing there, except now it's covered also because I'm thinking, you know what? If it rains again, I don't want to keep going through. So when you're talking about a fence, that idea came up because I would love to have a fence. We have a fence across the back and there's a fence on this side. So the only 2 sides that are missing is the side along this, you know, the street, Red Fox, and then, actually it's Larson, and then on this side, there's just a short place in the front. And the guy who called about me is a real nice guy, let me just put it that way, okay? He used to wholesale Rolexes, and he thinks he's like God's gift to the world. And he thought, well, my husband had done a stupid thing. My husband had done a refinancing in just his name one day because he was short on time. And after he passed away, for almost 3 years, Bank of America, my name's on the house too, okay? Bank of America wouldn't even acknowledge me. They wouldn't take money from me, they wouldn't totally, because they wanted the house because we have equity in the house.
Okay, we need to stay focused on.
Well, the reason I'm trying to get to that is that this guy in the corner, okay, the guy that called, okay, he was really convinced last year that I was going to go into foreclosure, and he was ready. He was ready to just steal my house from me. Well, guess what? That didn't happen. So now he's a very vindictive, okay? Yeah, everybody hates him, but this is the guy I'm dealing with. So bottom line is I would really love to have a fence, okay? So that's the next thing on my personal list of things to do is like, I'd have to find out if it's allowable. I'm sure it is because everybody else has one, or a lot of people do, and then find out how much it might be, but that's, you know, something that I've been thinking about when you mentioned a fence. So anyway, I only need it on 2 sides.
Sounds like she says she has no issue with the compliance date, is my understanding.
Right, the officer has to go out and do a final inspection.
And what she has up now for a pool fence, the netting that's around the screened-in porch will not be sufficient, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
This is a permanent stuff. This is not sold as temporary.
Just so that the board understands.
I mean, we should look at this.
She's definitely not going to comply with that one in the timeframe.
People use this as a permanent thing. You know, here's I didn't bring the whole thing off of Amazon, but you can. But this is not the cheap little crappy stuff that they use along the road.
Sure, but she knows what the standards are. She knows what will be in compliance.
The law, according to my attorney, is that it has
to talk to her to see what it would take to get it in compliance.
My attorney, okay, who's a real estate attorney, said it has to be 4 feet high.
In addition to the fact that she mentioned the top of the screens are still not fixed.
That doesn't matter. If it's higher than 4 feet,
Yes,
it doesn't
but
matter.
Even if if she had a barrier that was at least 48 inches.
This is 48 inches all the way around.
The top wouldn't.
It is 40. This is 48
I'm
inches all
trying
the
to
way around.
help you. Just
Okay.
sit down for 1
Okay,
second so we
thank
can
you.
clear up the issue.
Okay.
Sit down.
So yes, the top wouldn't matter for us as long as she had a permanent barrier that was 48 inches.
Right, and that material is not a permanent barrier.
No, it is not.
It's, okay.
Even if we secure a pool with the material that we have, we still contact county and they come out and install a permanent fence. It's just temporary.
Yes, okay.
On vacant properties, not occupied.
So you need to close the hearing and go ahead and have your discussion.
Yeah, I was going to make a motion to
Go ahead.
accept staff's recommendation on all 3 of these violations.
Second.
Okay,
Can you go back to the dates on each individual case? Can you go back to the dates on each individual case, please?
Are we okay doing this?
Well, we're going to do one by one, so that's why I'm asking her to pull up the dates for each individual case and the amounts, so we're all clear. Go ahead. You've already did you already vote on his motion?
We
to
haven't
accept?
voted, no.
Okay,
I
so the
did
vote
So
and then,
2530 we're doing now?
yes,
Okay.
My second still stands.
yes.
And that we had this was the rubbish case, make sure we're all on the same sheet here. And the recommendation, as my notes, was compliance by May 12th or $100 a day fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that looks like that's what that, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Gone. The next one is 25-31 CEB. That's the stagnant or foul water. My notes show by May 12th or $250 a day fine. Ms. Hemingway, that's correct.
My second still stands.
The same motion, and I'm sorry, who made, was it Mr. Davis and second by Mr. Sinan? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's done. And the third and last, 25-32 CEB, this is the unsecured swimming pool. I didn't write notes. Same thing, by May 12th or $250 a day fine. All the same motion, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? So that's what we've done, everything you've seen, no surprises there. Sounds like you make sure, get with Officer Hemingway to make sure you've got what you need. I suggest asking her to go back out there again, ma'am.
So if there's nothing in my yard, then why is there a deadline on that? There's no rubbish.
The officer's the only one that can close out your case.
Okay.
So she needs to make an appointment with you. You need to make an appointment with her and do a walkthrough together. And once she sees it, then she can close out the case if you're in compliance. Okay?
And
So-
do you think that, well, I'll get with my attorney as far as this goes, because that's not, the law says you have to have a secured fencing, period, or secured barrier. Doesn't
Attorney
even
was
say
retained
fencing.
for today's hearing. She should have been here. So the fact that there's no attorney here means that you didn't retain her to be here today. Okay? All right, go on. You have new
She didn't feel it was
business.
All
necessary.
right, we're moving on to the agenda. The other cases, actually, that's the last of our cases today. And believe it or not, that's the first time I can recall that every case we had, somebody was here to, yeah, so that's good news. So the case is not heard by the board. You can, if there are any, I don't think there are any, you can look at those if there are any. I don't think there are. Other business, we need to elect a vice chair. So in order to do that, I guess we get nominations.
So you open the floor, the chairman will not do your gavel.
Okay.
Open the floor for nominations.
Opening the floor for nominations for a vice chair.
You don't want to make eye contact with anybody, do you?
Well, I nominate Mr. Sinan.
I nominate Mr. Davis.
Well, I appreciate that, except I don't feel I have enough experience yet to fill in for the chairman, so I'd like to defer to someone else.
She'll sit next to you and like she'll help you out if that's an issue. I'm not trying to either way, but don't let experience on anything, chairman, vice chairman, whatever.
Well, there's some
but
other
I
issues
understand.
too, so I would prefer to defer to someone
I
else.
certainly respect that, understand.
We should definitely gauge Mr. Bates' interest here. I would nominate Mr. Bates.
I'll second that.
There we go.
Any other nominations?
Well, okay. Do you accept the nomination?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, now, any other nominations?
Any other nominations?
I believe I was nominated, but I'll gladly withdraw my nomination in favor of what seems to be the clear consensus here.
I didn't hear you nominated. Oh.
Greg did, to get himself
Call
out
for a
of
vote?
it.
Yeah, close the nominations.
Close the nominations. We have one active nominee, Mr. Bates. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, congratulations, I think. And then,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, that's according. Are you planning on missing any meetings?
No, I was going to miss today, but I told my son I couldn't. But no, I'm usually here. I'm usually pretty good. Let's see, cancellation of May 22nd meeting?
So there will be no meeting next month, and we will reconvene in June, on June 26th.
Okay.
Yes, we do have a June meeting this year.
Okay.
And maybe what we'll do is we'll create the list of dates again and pass it out, just so, because we're at the halfway point. So please take these dates when we bring them in June, look at your calendars. If you have any conflicts, just let the clerk know in advance. We're waiting on 2 appointments, so it's really critical that between now and those 2 appointments that everyone let us know if you can't make it to a meeting early on. Okay? And then I'll work on a workshop as well, but I was going to wait for the 2 appointments, and then we'll do kind of a workshop that we try to do annually. So as soon as we know when those appointments are made, I'll reach out to you all and get some dates out there so we can do a workshop.
Both Ms. Townsend and I would like to request that the security situation, health and security situation be included in that workshop, please.
Yes.
Verbiage.
Okay. Let me see, do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the March 27th meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Simon, second by Mr. Bates to accept, to approve the minutes from our March 27th, 2025 meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And then just confirming that our next meeting is June 26th. Anybody have any other business before we shut down here? Nope, seeing none. At 3:56, we'll, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
First, second, third, all done. Thank you.